Okay, so let's talk about something that is super common, but maybe we don't always feel comfortable discussing: skin darkening in private areas. In this explainer, we're going to dive into a really popular guide that shares a personal, all natural, at home approach to dealing with it. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, let me ask you, is this something you've noticed yourself? Maybe something you felt just a little bit self conscious about? It can totally affect your confidence, maybe even what clothes you feel good in. If that sounds familiar at all, you are definitely in the right place to figure out what's going on.
And the absolute most important thing to get straight from the get-go is that you are not alone. Not even close. This is an incredibly common thing. It's just a natural part of how our bodies work and change. So let's just take any awkwardness out of the conversation, because understanding it is the real first step.
Okay, so let's get into the why of it all. Before we can even talk about solutions, we gotta understand what's causing this darkening in the first place, right? The guide we're looking at points to a few really common culprits. What's so interesting is how many of these are just everyday things, like friction from tight clothing. That's a huge one. Same with sweating, which can cause a buildup of dead skin cells. Then you've got hormonal changes, especially when we're teenagers, that can mess with skin pigmentation. And as we'll touch on again later, even some of those hair removal creams can have harsh chemicals that add to the problem. All right, let's get to the good stuff, the practical solution from this guide. It's actually a really simple two-step routine, and you probably have all the ingredients in your kitchen right now. The idea is to do this twice a week, and over time, you should start to see some visible results. The logic here is super straightforward. Think of it like a 1-2 punch. First, you've got a scrub that's designed to exfoliate and get rid of that buildup of dead skin cells. And right after that, you follow up with a mask that's meant to lighten and nourish that fresh skin underneath. Simple, right? So for step 1, the scrub, you're going to mix together some honey and curd. Then you'll add a gentle scrubbing agent like semolina, wheat flour, or even just plain sugar. You apply that paste, let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then, and this is the crucial part, you use damp fingers to scrub in a very gentle circular motion. And I really mean gently. Rubbing too hard is just going to make things worse. Now for step 2, the lightening mask. For this, you'll make a paste with curd, semolina, and rice flour, which is pretty well known for its skin brightening properties. You can throw in a little honey here too for extra moisture if you want. Slather this on right after you've rinsed off the scrub and just let it hang out for 30 minutes. Then grab a warm, damp towel and gently wipe it all away. A little moisturizer afterwards is a nice finishing touch. Okay, this is so important. Just as important as what you should do is what you should not do. You don't want to accidentally undo all of your hard work. And the guide gives a really clear warning about one specific type of product. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The guide strongly suggests you steer clear of hair removal creams in these sensitive areas. Why? Well, the harsh chemicals in a lot of them can actually cause more skin darkening, which is the exact opposite of what we want. Instead, it recommends just sticking to a simple razor or waxing. And that brings us to the last and honestly probably the most important part of this whole guide: setting realistic expectations and just having the right mindset about all of this. I think this quote is just key. The creator is so upfront saying, hey, I'm not a doctor, I'm just sharing what worked for me. And that really grounds everything in personal experience. Now, they use the term completely fair, and I think it's important we reframe that a little. The goal here isn't about changing your skin tone. It's about addressing that hyperpigmentation to get a more even look. It's about improvement and feeling good, not some promise of a total transformation. And that really is the main message here. You got to be patient. This is not a quick fix. Natural remedies like this work with your body, and that just takes time. The real goal is a gradual evening of your skin tone and a better texture over time with consistent care, not some kind of magical overnight change. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, consistency is everything. But you know what's even more important? Being kind to your body through the process. Think of this as self-care, not just a cosmetic fix. And of course, anytime you're trying something new on your skin, it's always smart to do a little patch test first. And if you have any real concerns, talking to a dermatologist is never a bad idea. So the real question is, are you ready to be patient and just be gentle with yourself and your skin?